welcome to Gab Jam, episode 263. We're in the middle of Podmas. We're at day 3.
And what are we talking about today?
Okay, so the entire Podmas is principles of minimalism and the D.I.Y rockstar. But this particular episode is how, as D.I.Y rockstars, we are unique in our journey for trying these minimalism principles. That we know that we are not being true to, you know, the monastic, I guess, principles of minimalism. But, and so we do realize that, but we're not trying to go down to one sofa in a room or things like that, right? Because of the way, you know, that we're wired.
Right, and the principles can be dependent on who you are as an artist.
Yes.
You know, so it's kind of like what we were talking about before, is that as an artist, you know, to effectuate the artistic vision, you know, I felt like I needed at least to have a bass, a guitar, and acoustic guitar. Just to make sure that I'm effectuating the vision that's in my head, right? So I think as an artist, I think that's the thing you have to kind of think about, is that what are kind of like the bare bones things that you need to have in order to effectuate your vision. You know, and I mean, a long time ago, it was like, hey, you needed a mixer, you needed, you know, some type of recording equipment, and, you know, and pretty much once you had that, maybe a keyboard or something like that, and, you know, for the vision that we had, that would kind of get you to that point, right? You know, and a drum machine, right? And so that's the thing I feel that we're trying to get at now. It's kind of like, you know, if you kind of took you down to the raw bones of what you are as an artist, what do you need in order to make your art?
Yeah, I like that. And so we're not necessarily, I guess, going back to the principles of minimalism. What I found was that people were trying to only make their products from scratch. That was not us. Or that people were trying to save the planet. That's not necessarily us. But we can't necessarily throw all our clothes out. I guess for me, I'm talking for me. I cannot throw all my clothes out and just live with 3 outfits. So, that doesn't work for me.
To answer a quick question, when you talk about making something from scratch when you're talking from music, I mean, don't you kind of make it from scratch if it's original?
Yeah, you make it from scratch, but I was talking about cleaning products, things like
okay. So this is going beyond just the music part of it. Okay,
right?
So
but it's a holistic, you know, right?
I got you. Okay,
yeah. So, and there were some people who, you know, it's the chemicals and this, that, and the other, and I think,
I guess this thing probably falls, and you guys could please throw in the comments, you know, and go wild with it. Say whatever you want to say. I really don't care. I mean, you know what I mean? And what I mean by that is I care that you respond, but I don't care if what you say is negative, challenging, or whatever else. That's cool, because, you know, we can learn from that. So I look at it as almost like that sliding scale between being a vegetarian and a vegan, and that kind of thing, and kind of what that means and what your commitment may be. You might be a person that says, hey, I don't eat meat during the week, and then, you know, I'll go hog wild on the weekend.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I like that.
So, I mean, it kind of is those types of things. It's kind of where we're going with this whole minimalism.
Yeah. And then finally, I cannot have a Spartan house. A house that has, you know, I've watched some of those. Again, I kind of went down the rabbit trail this summer because I was kind of tired of the cleaning and some of the things. And I just was trying to find some tips, and I found all kinds of things. People who don't have any art in their house. People who have one sofa in the middle of the room. That cannot be us. I love aesthetically pleasing. The problem is if I'm tripping over shit, sorry, being honest, if I'm tripping over things and I can never get the counters clean, then there's something that needs to change. And that's when or the same thing with clothes. When I am passing by, you know, a whole bunch of clothes to get to the ones that I really like, that make me feel really good, that make me feel really rock star, then something needs to change. So that's kind of
what you get. And let me kind of piggyback on this thing with the whole minimalism thing. It's like when I first started running, I took more of the minimalism approach.
What do you mean?
I bought cheap shoes. I only had like one pair of shoes, right? And that's what I would run in, right? And to this day, you cannot, and it's probably TMI, look at my toenails because it completely destroyed them, right? You know, so you have to kind of do things in reason. So after a while, once I started reading up on this kind of stuff, you know, because I used to rewear the same socks, I would do all of these types of things to try to be the minimalism kind of thing. And I started realizing, no, you got to change socks every day. You know, especially for me because I sweat very heavily. Yeah, he does. So what I was doing was just basically building a nest for toenail fungus, right? That's what I was doing. And so I had to, you know, switch out and say, okay, I got to change shoes every day. I got to, you know, have clean socks every day. I need to have like, you know, about 14 pairs of socks because they're going to get washed all the time. These are just different things you have to do. So what is minimalism for you? Right. I'm saying this to say it all depends on you and what is going to work for your lifestyle, for who you are. You don't want to get so minimalist where you get to a point where you can't commit to it because you're miserable. That's not what we're talking about.
And actually, I guess the real thing is looking for more joy. Right. To be honest.
So you're looking for that happy balance. You don't want to become a slave to the stuff. Right. But at the same token, you don't want to be miserable because you don't have the stuff necessary to do what you need to do. So that
doesn't work. That doesn't work for us. Yeah, so that's what we're talking about. And if you're interested in hearing more, make sure you tune in tomorrow where we talk about how to fit doing the principles of minimalism or incorporating those principles into your daily life, which we know can be a challenge. So make sure you come back tomorrow. If you dig the vibe and you want to be a part of the tribe, be sure to subscribe. We're wishing you love, peace, and kickoff.